Good morning. You're listening to ZS6STN, the Sandton Amateur Radio Club Sunday Bulletin, coming to you today from the shack of ZS6GM, based in White River in Mpumalanga. This bulletin is broadcast every Sunday morning at 8:45 local time, that's Central African time, on 145-700, the 2-meter band repeater in Sandton, on other stations connected to the ZA Net All-Star Network, on 7115 kilohertz lower sideband in the 40-meter band from the shack of Noel, ZR6DX. Thank you, Noel, for that. In the bulletin today, we have a summary of the SARL news. We will remember them, club birthdays and club news, general ham radio news, technical topic of interest. Here's a summary of the SARL news for today, the 9th of November 2025. The full bulletin may be found on the SARL website, www.sarl.org.za. We will remember them. The First World War armistice was signed at 05 hours on Monday, the 11th of November 1918, and the agreement took place at 11 o'clock on that Monday, the 11th of November, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. And that's remembered as a turning point in world history when peace was restored after years of devastating conflict in Europe. Every day, Armistice Day is commemorated in South Africa on the Sunday nearest the 11th, or on the 11th of November, by the military veteran schools, churches, and the community. The focus has changed from the First World War to encompass the fallen of all wars right up to the present day. Today, the annual Remembrance Day service will be held on Amateur Radio today by Hannes Enzen, ZS6JDE, and the broadcast will take place at approximately 10:30 Central African time. We ask radio amateurs as a mark of respect to observe radio silence during the broadcast. The ZS4AFV Maluti Military Fair. The Maluti Military Fair will take place on Friday the 21st and Saturday the 22nd of November at Sandton Heritage Estate in the Eastern Free State. Apart from the steam trains, military vehicles and aeroplanes and other exhibits, there will be a display of military radio and an amateur radio station. The call sign of the South Africa Armour Museum will be active. Look out for ZS4 Alpha Foxtrot Victor or ZS4 Armored Fighting Vehicles on the HF bands. All the QSLs will be uploaded to Club Log. SABS TC73 response to the HF increasing noise level. The increasing level of RF noise on the HF bands, which is now, according to reports, encroaching on VHF, was on this week's SABS TC73 agenda as an emerging need discussion. TC73 deals with EMC and related standards. No input had been received by the November meeting, and the chairman of TC73, Frans Sabisa, expressed his disappointment and requested that the presentation and video link be placed on the TC73 portal. Members were requested to review the proposal and submit their input on the way forward by the end of February for a report to be tabled at a meeting on the 21st of April 2026. He also undertook to approach the responsible department at ICASA to make input. The TC73 meeting was attended by Brian Jacobs, ZS6 Yankee Zulu, and Hans van der Groenendaal, ZS6 Alpha Kilo Victor. Where are all the new radio amateurs? Well, calling all new radio amateurs from the October RAE, this is for you. On Saturday, the 15th of November, that's this coming Saturday, starting at 08 hours UTC and running until 20 hours UTC, you can participate in the SARL Newbie Contest. The Newbie Contest is a fun activity to encourage all radio amateurs to become active on HF, and you'll find all the information you need on page 58 of the 2025 SARL Contest Manuals. Ask your club committee for a copy or go to mysarl.org.za. Contest news. This is a truncated version of the contest news. The full news can be found in the printed version of the headquarters bulletin. 18 logs were received for the ZS1 QSO party held on Sunday the 28th of September. First place goes to Michael Root, ZS4 BHF with 70 points. Second place to Granville van Beek, ZS1 GVW with 51 points. And third place, Dion Fraser, ZS5 DCF with 45 points. SARL Spring QRP Contest. The results of the SARL Spring Contest results are in. But first, some stats that may be of interest. 16 logs were submitted for the fourth and final leg of the contest series, which took place on Saturday, the 18th of October. The 16 logs reflected 174 QSOs, made up of 163 phone and 11 digital QSOs. The 130 QSOs were logged on 40 meters and 37 on 20 meters. 8 stations achieved distances of over 1,000 kilometers using QRP. Special mention goes to Tiana, ZS2EC, operating ZS100 SARL, achieving the greatest distance of 17,000 kilometers using 5 watts on FT8, followed by Paul, ZS1 PTY with 16,500 kilometers. Tita, ZS1 DWH, achieved the overall greatest distance of 1,670 kilometers using 10 watts on phone. ZS6FY and the Cape Radio Group, ZS1 CRG, achieved the overall greatest distance of 1,476 kilometers while chatting to one another using 1 watt on phone. The full set of results can be found in HF Happenings number 1171. Club news: the West Rand Amateur Radio Club would like to announce that the West Rand Repeater 145625, located at Wilrow Park Water Tower, will be off air for a week. The main reason is for maintenance and an upgraded solar system. That's correct. The club repeater has been solar powered for almost 4 years to the week. Following a series of cable thefts and power outages in the past, both the West Rand 2 meter and 70 centimeter repeaters have been powered by a solar system. This system has powered both repeaters for years and was almost forgotten that it had not used any mains power for so long. So the maintenance will include installing a new MPPT charger system and new batteries. Pico balloon news: the high-altitude Pico balloon ZS1 ERZ-12 completed its 7th circumnavigation of our planet on Wednesday, the 5th of November at 9:42. As of Friday, the 7th of November, it's been up 82 days and 19 hours since launch, and the balloon has traveled 247,541 kilometers. Thursday brought a tense period of radio silence with no spots detected. Fortunately, BM2 KBV in Japan picked up the signal at 5:32 the following day, ending 4,700 kilometers of silence. Subsequent reports from Australian stations confirmed that ZS1 ERZ-12 is still transmitting. And we have an update in the Sandton Bulletin, so that we'll listen out for that. Hannes Garcia, ZS6BZP, reports that solar activity is expected to be at low to moderate levels during the week. There are currently 7 sunspot regions with simple to complex magnetic configurations visible. There's a high probability for C and M class solar flares. If you want to do your own frequency predictions, the expected sunspot number for the week will be around 77. The 30 to 10 meter bands may provide some good DX fun. If you want more news on the state of the sun, please visit spaceweather.sansa.org.za. That's spaceweather.sansa, that's sansa.org.za. Coming up, the Sandton Amateur Radio Club news. Right, Sandton Amateur Radio Club news. We congratulate the following members on their birthdays and wish them a blessed, happy, healthy, and successful year ahead. ZS6JPN, Johan Neft, on the 12th, that's Wednesday. Keegan Airy, ZS6MIV. Mr. Keegan Airy on the 13th, and then on this 19th, Graham Bussey, ZS6GL. And then on the 2nd of December, Mary de Villiers, the XYL of Colin de Villiers ZS6COL. That's on the 2nd of December. Sandton Amateur Radio Club end-year function takes place this coming Saturday, the 15th of November. There'll be 2 field stations set up for the newbie contest as well, and I'll be calling in Keith ZS6HI after the diary to tell you all about it. Update on the Pico balloon news from Stuart, ZR1 Whiskey Tango, who's a Sandton Club member. The high-altitude Pico balloon, ZS1ERZ-12, completed its 7th circumnavigation of our planet on Wednesday, the 5th of November at 9:42. As of today, the 19th of November, it has been 84 days and 17 hours since launch, and the balloon has now traveled 251,585 kilometers. As reported earlier, Thursday brought a tense period of radio silence with no spots detected, but fortunately BM2 KVV in Japan picked up the signal at 5:32 the following day. Now on its 8th circumnavigation, it's midway between New Zealand and Antarctica, its southernmost position to date. Its altitude has dropped to 12,000 meters above sea level, and it's now south of ZL land at 54 degrees south, 168 degrees east, and it was approaching nighttime the last time it reported. Summits on the air. Neil Sutton, M0NJH, was in ZS land for a holiday this past week. Last year, Neil, along with Graham ZS6GL, Keith ZS6HI, and Robert ZS6ROB, activated GP016 in Krugersdorp, which is a tailing man-made summit. Prior to arriving in South Africa this year, Neil asked Graham about access to the summit because he wanted to work it again. Graham told him it was not safe to go alone, and offered to go along with him. They met at the Dirt Bronco Raceway at 9:45 on the 1st, and they climbed the mine dump. It was tough going, as the sand is fine, sea sand-like, and it was like 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. Once on the top, Neil set up his station and operated using QRP with a link dipole. Robert said his 6ROB did a fly past to see what we were up to, said Graham, and managed to get some good film footage. Neil had another 2 SOTAs planned for the day, GP024 at Swartkorp and GP008 at Michalisburg, which is Spiss's Hook. So Graham headed home and worked him as a chaser. The next day, Neil teamed up with Brandon, ZS6LZ, to activate GP015, and then again on Tuesday, the 4th, Neil activated NW037, which is Asphalt's Krans, and NW039 at Rietvlei. Then on Wednesday, the 5th, he activated G23 Witwatersburg and NW075, and then finally, end of the week, activating NW041 at the Michalis Aerial Cableway. A big thanks to Neil for reaching out to local hams and involving them, and Neil, we wish you a safe travel home. The dates for your diary: today, Remembrance Sunday, and the annual Remembrance Day service on amateur radio today at 10:30. Then on the 11th of November, it's the official Armistice Day. That's Tuesday. Saturday, the 15th of November, the new BQSO party and the Sandton Amateur Radio Club year-end function. 17th and 18th of November is the Leonard's meteor shower, so a good time to work 6 meter with meteor shower backscatter. And the 21st and the 22nd of November, it is for Alpha Foxtrot Victor at the Maluti Military Fair. Sunday, the 22nd of November, is the it's Saturday, the 22nd of November, this SARL 40-meter club contest. On the 26th of November is the Sandton Power Hour Tech Talk, and this Tech Talk will be all about back R13. And then the 29th and 30th of November, the CQ Worldwide DX CW contest. Right, I'd like to call in Keith, ZS6HI, to give us an update on the end-of-year function and any other news. So, Keith, it's over to you.
Good morning, Chris, and good morning to all the listeners out there this morning. Thank you for the bulletin, well received at my QTH. So just to give an update then, in terms of this coming Saturday, the 15th of November, will be the club's year-end function, and we have posted a little poll on the Sandton Amateur Radio Club WhatsApp group to indicate whether you are coming or not, because the club will be sponsoring the bread rolls and salads and obviously making the braais and so on and so forth. So we would love to have as many club members present as possible. It will be at 11A Zandspruit Road in Chartwell. So this is where we've had a few antenna builds as well as a few HF assessments with those in the club as well. So please diarise now for this coming Saturday from 9 o'clock in the morning. So there will be a few of us arriving at 9 o'clock in the morning to set up some stations, because we're also going to combine it with the newbie QSO party. So we hope to have a lot of the new amateurs here as well, running their own call signs and having a chat during the newbie QSO party, which runs the whole day. It is a bring and braai, so bring your goodies that you would like to eat and drink. We will provide some cold drinks and, as I mentioned, salads and rolls and so on. But if you want to braai, please bring something to braai, as well as any of those little brown bottles or green bottles that you might want to have. And we will at the same time do a few awards at the year-end function, because we didn't do them at AGM, which was held earlier this year. So there will be a few award certificates handed out as well, which will always be a little bit exciting. And hopefully, if things come to plan, maybe we'll even have the badges for the new amateurs available. That will be awesome. Then you did hear the QRP contest results. They're in, so I'd like to say a very big thank you to Gerrit for helping with the QRP contest results and getting those done and sent in. And it's an interesting results, so go and have a read of those results and have a look. So I think Brandon, ZS6 Lima Zulu, our chairman for the first half of this year, won the leg 4 contest, but he was pipped at the post by Phillips ZS6 Fox Yankee in terms of the overall year's contest. So it's an interesting outcome, and go and have a look at the placings of that QRP contest. As you know, ZS6STN is the host of the QRP contest. We've also adjusted the rules slightly for next year to try and make it learn from certain things and feedback that we've received. So the rules have slightly changed next year, and the next QRP contest will be on 17th of January. That gives you a little bit of time to prepare, and a great way to kick off the new year. Then on the 22nd of November, it's the last 40-meter club contest leg for the year, and as you know, the club contests, the club gets points, as do obviously the individual operators. They get their points, and they can win or come and enjoy the 40-meter club contest. And what we would like as many of the Santonites to do is to participate in the last leg of the 40-meter club contest on Saturday the 22nd of November. It typically starts at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and only runs for an hour. So diarise the 22nd of November for the 40-meter club contest, and then please don't forget to send in your logbooks after the club contest ends, because we don't get any points if you don't send in your logbooks. Hi. So that'll be another fun event on the 22nd of November. Then, as Chris has mentioned, Power Hour Tech Talk on the 26th of November, and that starts at 7 o'clock in the evening, 1900 CAT, and it'll be the full story of Baycar 13, the weather balloon that flew to the edge of space during October. I think it was around the 11th or 10th of October that balloon flew to space, and with all of its payloads. So we'll go through the detail of Baycar 13, and those who flew the individual payloads will tell you what they put together and put on the balloon, as well as share some of their data and photographs that they took from the Baycar balloon. So it'll be an interesting one. So diarise the Power Hour Tech Talk on the 26th of November at 1900 CAT. And remember that the clubhouse is also open. So on the Power Hour Tech Talk evening, so on the 26th of November, please diarise to come through to the clubhouse as well. Chris, I hope that gives you sufficient details, and thank you to all that were listening. ZS6STN, ZS6HI.
Yeah, ZS6HI, ZS6GM operating ZS6STN. Keith, thanks very much for the update on the news, and very good stuff. And yes, 40 meter, let's put Sandton at the top of the list. So look forward to that. Right, well, it's time for our Tech Talk of the day. And today's Tech Talk is about modern aircraft design. And it's the concept of the blended wing aircraft. And that's where the fuselage and the wing are all one structure. It's not new, but this radical design might soon be a credible concept for airliners. In March this year, a small V-shaped remote-controlled aircraft took off for the first time from Pendleton UAS test range in eastern Oregon, in the northwest of the U.S. Codenamed Steve for scaled vehicle test, the unmanned vehicle flew for only 16 seconds on its first flight, but that didn't matter. On subsequent flights were the first steps on a path that its creator, Outbound Aerospace, hopes will lead to the launch of a radical new 200 to 250-seater blended wing airliner in the 2030s. With a 52-meter wingspan, around about 8 times that of Steve, the airliner has already been named the Olympic. The idea that wings and fuselage of an aircraft can be smoothly blended with no clear dividing line to increase dynamic efficiency dates back more than 100 years. In 1924, the first recorded blended wing aircraft made its first flight, and then it crashed because it was unstable. They couldn't control it. Since then, blended wing technology has primarily been left to the U.S. military to develop for their bombers, and of course the X-1 is a blended wing aircraft. Now the aviation industry's pressing need to reduce emissions may mean the time has come for the first blended wing commercial airliner. But the question is, can startups like Outbound Aerospace overcome the serious challenges that remain? Well, Steve's flights are intended to show that the Seattle-based startup innovative blended wing aircraft design works, and that the company's novel manufacturing technology can deliver the new type of mid-market airline faster and cheaper than current big plane makers like Airbus and Boeing. Jake Armenta, who's a former Boeing engineer and co-founder and CTO of Outbound Aerospace, said, "We went from a clean sheet design to a demonstrator in about 12 months. He believes his team has shown that they can cut down the 5 to 10 years or more it takes to develop a commercial aircraft." The aircraft, flying for the first time, was exactly 9 months from the day we opened our factory doors for the first time. It's amazing, isn't it? Now their technology demonstrator is finding a new use as a cargo drone. Steve has proved interesting to the U.S. Department of Defense and other civilian customers because it has a large cargo bay and could be cheaper than conventional designs. So Jake said, so that's the first product we're now bringing into market. We believe we can drastically reduce the time and capital expense of development, and it's still going to be very expensive, says Aaron Boyson, Outbound's Director of Business Development. He says we have to earn revenue earlier than 10 years down the road. Well, despite skepticism about the feasibility of their plans, Outbound has managed to raise about $1 million in pre-seed funding. This money is the first investment a startup receives to turn ideas into reality, and it's allowed them to hire 5 full-time staff as well as contractors and part-timers as needed. Outbound, though, isn't the only company going down this road. There are at least 2 other startups in the race to build the first blended wing airliner, which has been a goal for so long that some people say it's become the holy grail of aviation. This is according to analyst and commentator Bill Sweetman. Much of the current wave of designs stems from NASA's 1988 call for revolutionary aircraft designs. One team that responded included Robert Lieback, Liebach, who later became co-developer and project manager for Boeing's blended wing programs. Their work on a futuristic blended wing airliner eventually led to a remote-controlled aircraft designated as the Boeing NASA X-48, and it was named as Time magazine's top invention in 2007. The X-48 may have been small, but it was designed to fly like a full-sized plane. 2 X-48s were built and then embarked on a remarkable series of 120 flights over 6 years. These flights tested how blended wing aircraft respond to problems such as engines failing or stalling, as well as exploring ways to reduce fuel consumption and noise levels. Back in the day, Bob Liebeck was trying to overcome the practical problems of blended wing-bodied aircraft, says Sweetman. Probably the biggest one is having a pressurized passenger cabin. Pressurized vessels tend to have a circular cross-section because flat surfaces experience very high loads under pressure, causing structural complications for any more box-like designs. Then trying to design this around an appealing cabin was, of course, a further challenge. But Outbound Steve is intentionally the same size and dimensions as the X-48, and the X-48 proved that modern flight control systems can effectively manage a blended wing design, says Boysons. We were able to build and fly Steve, an aircraft that matches the X-48, but on a fraction of that program's budget and in just 9 months. Well, I guess that the stability problem has largely been overcome using modern computing and, dare I say, AI. So modern jet fighter aircraft are inherently unstable and are only controllable because of computerized flight controls. So I guess the same for the X-48. So I know that is it the X-1 bomber or the B-1 bomber, the stealth bomber, that's a blended wing aircraft as well. Anyway, go and have a look at Outbound's website and see for yourself, and look up blended wing aircraft construction as well. Also go and look for the X-48. Some very interesting reading. And if you're interested in aerodynamics and aircraft, then that should really interest you. But 10 years away from a blended wing passenger aircraft, that's quite exciting. We'll go and check out the website, outbound.aero. That's O-U-T-B-O-U-N-D, outbound.aero, A-E-R-O, and go and check it all out. All right, have a super day, and I wish everyone a happy week. ZS6GM operating ZS6STN is now off and clear. Bye-bye.